Nigeria's Inspector General of Police has warned actors and movie producers against portraying police officers in a bad light without prior approval. Inspector General Usman Baba says that movie scenes of actors in police uniforms must now be approved as set out in a law, and defaulters will be prosecuted.
The police say the order is meant to correct wrong perceptions of would-be criminals. Nollywood, as the Nigerian film industry is called, produces movies consumed across Africa that have regular depictions of police officers. A statement from the police says, filmmakers who portray the Nigeria Police Force officers in bad light without applying for and being duly issued a permit letter for such portrayals should stop with immediate effect or face the full wrath of the law. The police say approvals will be given to applications on usage of police items that portray good values, impress positively on the Nigerian public, and adds value to its system.
Well, let's get some reaction now from Hassan Taiwo Soweto, who's a member of the Democratic Socialist movement. Thanks so much indeed for joining us. Always good to have you on the program. Some of us...
It's always my pleasure.
Some of us here are actually looking at this in disbelief. Is this a genuine law that exists or one that's been proposed?
Well, let me inform the world that there is no such law in the Nigeria Constitution that empowers the police to censor product of arts in Nigeria. The only law that exists is the law setting up the National Film and Video Censors Board, which is an agency of government that regulates the film and video industry. That is the only body, that can make pronouncements or censor the product of any artwork. So the pronouncement by the Inspector General of Police is, by that instance, null and void, because the police does not have such power. However, the police have the authority to regulate the usage of paraphernalia and insignias of the police force, including uniforms of the police. That is the limit of the extent of the power of the police. They do not have any rights, to censor what any artist or filmmakers produce. There's no such law in the Nigerian Constitution.
All right, so that the real issue then at the heart of this might be that for as long as you're wearing uniforms that are copies of Nigerian police uniforms, you need police permission to shoot. If you shoot with uniforms that are similar but not the same, then you don't need their permission.
Yes, if you shoot with uniforms that are in no way similar, to the uniforms of the police, then you do not need to obtain a permit. But if you want to use anything that is close or the same as a paraphernalia or insignia of the police force, you have to request for permission from the Commissioner of Police or the IG, so that the power of the police is only, in relation to the usage of paraphernalia of the force, not the actual shooting of films or production of artworks. So that when it comes to how the police is portrayed, the Nigerian police or the IG do not have a power to censor how they are portrayed. It is a prerogative of the artist, and it is also the obligation, of the National Films and Video Censors Board to regulate that.
So what's prompted the police commissioner to make this pronouncement? What's been going on that he's upset about?
Well, you know that Nigeria has had a long history of brutal policing, as well as, mass disaffection and even mass struggle by the people of Nigeria against police brutality. Just about 2 years ago, in October 2020, there was a nationwide mass protest against police brutality, which was tagged End SARS. And since that protest, the police have not actually stopped being brutal. They are continuing to carry out extrajudicial killings and arrest of innocent Nigerians. The harassment of the police has continued, since that time. But side by side with this also is the fact that the Nigerian government has also grown more repressive over the time, especially as their policies, their economic policy, continue to produce outcomes that are at variance, to the desires and needs of the vast majority of the people. As you must know, Nigeria is in the throes of a deep economic crisis. There is scarcity of food. There is, high prices of food and other items. Inflation is running at double digits. The currency has collapsed, and many families face starvation. So in this kind of situation, the ruling elites are actually very, alarmed and in panicky mode. So that the idea is to use just every means to curtail the freedom of expression of the people. And interestingly, films and music has become a weapon in the hands of Nigeria's youth to carry out subtle criticism of the government, so that some of the music and films that are being produced in Nigeria actually contain a lot of materials that are very critical of the government. Then you also have what you call skit makers, who are professional young Nigerians who produce short films on social media. And some of them are they satirizes the condition of mass poverty in the midst of abundance that pervades Nigeria. They satirizes the corruption and endemic looting that pervades Nigeria. They also satirize the complete, ineffectiveness and bankruptcy of the ruling elite, especially the Buhari government, which came to power 7 years ago with a lot of promises to rid Nigeria of poverty in the midst of abundance, to solve insecurity and all of that. And that government has managed not to do any of those things, and has rather even increased the problem of Nigeria multiple-fold. As I'm speaking with you now, insecurity has grown from what it was in 2015 when this current regime came in, as an activity that was restricted to the northeastern part of the northeastern part of Nigeria. Now insecurity now pervades the entirety of the country, to the extent that over the past few days, the Federal Capital Territory, the seat of government, has been under siege by terrorists and bandits who have attacked the presidential guard, killing about 10 soldiers. The presidential guard is actually one of the most elite departments of the Nigerian army. It is the branch of the Nigerian army that is directly responsible for the protection of the Nigerian president. That the branch was ambushed. A battalion of that branch of the army was ambushed by bandits who, killed about 10 soldiers, in one first swoop. And all of this is producing a sense of resentment and alarm. And that is why a government that is unable to deal with all of these crises is now lashing out at Nigerians who are speaking out. And that is why we must oppose this pronouncement, because it is a carryover, of the system of, authoritarianism, which used to be the pattern of governance for the military period.
All right, Hassan, we're running out of time, and there's one last issue I'd like us to look at. And you've mentioned this insecurity in parts of the country, and we believe that the Nigerian opposition senators are calling for the impeachment of President Buhari just a year before he comes out of office in a Senate where they are a minority. Is this political grandstanding ahead of elections? What's behind this?
Well, you know that the first sign of an approaching storm is often the rustling of the upper layers of the forest. When the storm is approaching, the tallest trees, they begin, to sway and rustle. So what you see in the National Assembly with the bankrupt, corrupt, rotten layer of the ruling elite who are in the assembly suddenly rising up to the occasion to say they want to impeach the president is a sign of the approaching storm in Nigeria. Because people are growing dissatisfied with this government. If a referendum is done in Nigeria today, asking whether President Buhari to stay a day longer in power, I'm telling you that 99% of Nigerians will return a yes vote that he must leave immediately tonight. That is how much tired people are become. So that the National Assembly members who are asking for impeachment are simply trying to reflect this mood of the people. But the reality also is that they themselves are a caricature because they have been there for the past 7 years, together with the presidency, and they are part of the architect of the problem. And in any case, even if they succeed at impeaching the president, who will replace? It is either another member of the regime, whether it will be the vice president or the Senate president. And these are just same of the same people. So that I want demand today as socialists in Nigeria is that, yes, President Buhari should go, but not only him, the entire regime must be swept away to be replaced by a government of the workers and poor of Nigeria and with socialist policy. That is the only government that can begin to tackle the economic crisis, the mass poverty, the insecurity that pervades the country at the moment.
Hassan Taiwo Soweto, always good talking to you. Thank you so much indeed for joining us.
It's always my pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's Hassan Taiwo Soweto, who's a member of the Democratic Socialist movement, making his feelings and thoughts very clear about the police's announcement that you can't do filming about the police in a negative light without permission, particularly wearing their uniforms, and also that this move by the Nigerian opposition senators to have President Buhari impeached, he says that the majority, 99% of Nigerians want him gone and want him gone today.